Hello there. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Oyen, and I'm going to be taking you on this course, this Functional Skills ICT Level 2. So we're going to sort of have a little introduction, and really what I want you to do is to follow the series of lectures that I'm going to put together for you before you come to the classes, and that's how we're going to sort of take this. All right, I'm going to try and make them sort of short lectures so that you can always, you can get through them quickly. And then when you come to class, we get a chance to go through some exam papers together. All right, so what I'm going to do is first of all show you what an exam paper looks like. So typically you get given, I'll just go back, this is what you'll get given. And you get, this is a, if you see it says QP here, question paper, that's the mark scheme. I'm just going to go to the question paper first, so you see what the examiner will give you. Right, just waiting for this to open. Right, so you can see here, it says Functional Skills, ICT, Level 2, and, you know, it's 2 hours. Typically students spend about an hour, 30 minutes in there. And you can see here that there are two sections. There's a part A and there is a part B. Right. Now, these series of lectures are going to focus on the part B, and you'll see why in a second. The part A we'll talk about, but really, you know, the focus there is slightly lighter. And I imagine you'll be comfortable with that when you come to class. It's really asking if you can actually use the internet and do searches. But part B is ultimately asking you to go through a series of tasks. So this is what sort of the exam paper looks like, made up of two parts, part A and part B, but these lectures will cover part B. So when you come to class, you'll really be working on part B, but you'll always flick back to part A to work through that. So now that I've shown you that, what I will do is I will see if I can close that, and let me go back. Very good. So as I say, let's just go through part A. So very quickly, I've already discussed briefly what this part A is about. So really part A, in part A, when we come to talk about part A again, we'll be talking about things to do with the internet, how to use the internet, talking about security online. And as you can see here, it's about going online, opening emails, finding websites, taking screenshots of websites, you know, and just looking for ways to protect your own data, you know, looking for ways to make it easier for people who are visually impaired to use computers. So actually, I probably expect you to actually do some work on that before you come to class. This is probably closer to your exams. You can look at this information, but you can see this is sometimes this is information that you can find online. Right, so that's really what part A is really about. And as I say, when you come to class, we'll look at that, and you can do a bit of work on that on your own. Okay, so part B, which is, as I say, where we're really looking at. Let's start off with the first lecture, and this is the first class we'll have, and then we will we'll move on to the next lecture. Hopefully this should take, as I say, another 5 minutes. Okay, so welcome to this program. Let's make this bigger. This is part 1. So the objectives here are that you will know what computer programs you need to know and understand to pass this course. So we're going to be looking at a couple of computer programs that are critical for this course, for part B. And the other thing that's really important, this very first lecture, is about how to import data. So typically your exam, they give you a text file, and they expect you to get that information from the text file into one of these computer programs that we will be discussing. And you can see here that the key computer programs that we're already you probably use already, hopefully at work, or you've come across from school, is the Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Access, or databases. Yes, so those are the 3 key programs we're going to be discussing. But first of all, the key issue really is to be able to get that information from a text file and get that information into one of these programs for you to be able to play with. So 5 key areas are covered. I said before, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Windows, yes, Word, really, Notepad, which is really this text file, Microsoft PowerPoint, which has come up, and you might be asked to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, yes, and Microsoft Access databases, where we store information and data, yes. Okay. So as I said, you'll typically be given information and data in Microsoft Notepad and be asked to get that information into one of the programs that we've been discussing earlier. And this is what Notepad looks like. You know, it comes out like this. Actually, let me take you to an example of this. So here, typically all these files here, these are text files. You can see, how do I know? You can see they end in txt, 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 and in your exam you'll be given this sort of file, you know, this sort of, you know, document. And just opening that, you can see how that looks. Yes, this is Notepad. Yes, you can click that there. Again, Notepad. And your business, your job is to get this information into one of those more popular Microsoft programs that we were discussing. So here's an example of Notepad. This is a slide just explaining everything I've just said earlier on. And yeah, and I guess you must know, you're probably comfortable with the meaning of the word import, and that's to bring something in. Yes, so bringing something in from those text files into one of the programs and playing around with it. Yes, and this all sort of, so really this is the first lecture that I want you to sort of think about, and we're going to move on to that in the next lecture. So some key issues here. We need to understand, we're going to be looking at how we move information from Notepad into one of those programs that we've been discussing: Excel, Word, databases. Okay, great stuff. See you in the next lecture.